Animation is a medium of contrast, where reality can but doesn't need to collide, where every single variable of every frame is entirely controlled from the way the sun sits in the sky to the way the grass moves on the ground, and yet it's a medium in which those things are often the least important. Here, the sun is our light. We need it. It's the reason this angle is, this angle. The reason the camera is placed where it is, the reason they're standing where they are. But here, I can just move it and nothing really changes at all. And yet, I think there's this perception that as a result of this kind of contrast, animation tends to be, self-indulgent. A perception that the bright colors, lack of physics, and bubblegum worlds lead to something that lacks substance, to chaos. But this is controlled chaos, and proof that every one of those assumptions are. And I think one episode is microcosmic proof of that. Adventure Time feels through and through like animation at its most controlled, and it starts with that bubblegum rainbow world. This Technicolor fever dream is less what you get by splashing paint in between the lines, and more what happens when you draw entirely new ones. This is Princess Bubblegum. She rules this place, the Candy Kingdom. This is the Ice King, a kind of sort of villainous wizard. He is King of Ice. This is Jake, he's a shape-shifting dog thing, and this is Finn, a human being. All these characters exist in this world, this sparkly dose of sugar, which, is a new world that's built itself on top of the ashes of our human world that destroyed itself in an apocalyptic nuclear war. In the wake of human absence, the world became a beautiful, color-filled landscape of life. Remember that contrast? And that's important because what Adventure Time is on the surface matters. It looks unlike any other show you'll probably ever see. It's aware of its aesthetic, hyper aware of the fact that you're seeing something strange, something that will fry your mind. And that's partially why it works.
I'm not doing so good.
Oh no.
Yeah. I just wish I could see the treehouse one more time.
Adventure Time's aesthetic at first seems like a random stylistic grab bag designed specifically to attract a young, easily distracted, low attention span audience. But instead, I actually think it's designed to give you a sense of security, an escape from the real world, and one whose surface is a bit like a drug. Adventure Time embodies contrast. Once it has you with its bubblegum princesses, candy kingdoms, and talking Game Boys, it begins to reveal itself. Its harsh, sometimes raw underbelly. See, Adventure Time wanted you to know that life can be fun, bright, sugary, but where it elevated itself is in how it used that to explore real life in digestible ways. It is not really a show about happy thoughts and sunshine, at least not always. See, unlike something like Gravity Falls, Adventure Time's writers wrote the show as it evolved. They didn't know when they started how it would end, and as they, and in turn you the viewer, got more comfortable in their world, they started to show you more of it. Princess Bubblegum slowly became an ethically muddied ruler of beings she created. The Ice King became a poster boy for misunderstood anger, for misplaced judgment. It became a show that explored the pitfalls of capitalism, corporate-run societies, a show built on grief, on the downfall of humanity in a way, and it explored all of this the right way. See, thematic content, particularly in hyper-stylized mediums, is tricky. It's easy to poke at conversations, easy to say, hey, this thing is bad, or hey, this thing exists, but not flesh out quite why it matters. Adventure Time used its world, its characters, and writing in perfect harmony to become something important. And in a small way, I think episodes like Ocarina are the moments that make that contrast, make those explorations so special.
Shouldn't you be at work?
Yeah, no. I never even looked for a job.
Really?
I was thinking about you buying our treehouse. I figured out that you don't need our money.
Ocarina is a strange piece of television, an episode of Adventure Time that's presenting its primary audience, kids and teenagers, with a story about what it means to be a bad father and what, as a son or daughter, it's like to have to make up for the insufficiencies of your parents. Not only is this not a subject you often see in animation, but I think here it's so well articulated that you'd be hard-pressed to find a more approachable conversation about these things. On the surface, it plays out like a fun, formulaic episode of an animated show. Our villain takes something from our heroes, and they have to struggle to get it back. But this isn't a fun, formulaic animated show. It's an episode that uses its visual flair deceptively to ease you in, presenting Jake's family in their pretty rainbow unicorn environment, and then smothering that reality with something kind of nefarious.
Happy birthday, puppies! Okay, so putting it out there, I didn't remember to bring you guys any birthday presents. But I did bring lunch. It's macaroni salad.
Our main characters have lost the treehouse to Jake's much more responsible adult son, and now they're on a quest to get that very thing back, which leads to visual moments like these, where the aesthetic of the show shines, where Jake has literally dug himself a hole, made himself look and feel small, where we see a visualization of how inept he looks and feels in the shadow of his son and the responsibility he should be taking on. And the writing matches that level of nuance. Jake's son has commandeered the treehouse in hopes of teaching his absent father a lesson in responsibility. He hopes his father will get a job and learn to support himself and the people around him. He hopes this is a wake-up call. The show superficially paints him as the bad guy to its younger viewers, cut and dry, but it respects its audience and it presents older viewers with a story of Jake's villainy, not his. The bad guy that can't do his job as a father, the exhaustion and impact that has on his children, who visually throughout the episode towers over his father, both in spirit and physicality. And it's sad, depressing even, that in all of this beauty and all of its fun, the world as we know it is still there. The darkness still exists. And I think that's really what Adventure Time is all about, and what good world building in television is at its best. It's about holding a mirror up to our world, and then painting it in all sorts of different colors, while never losing the ability to see into it. Yes, Adventure Time is about bubblegum princesses and candy wars, but it also has a lot to say about how we live our lives, about the terrible things we deal with, and the reasons we sometimes choose not to deal with them at all. If that sounds grim, it kind of is at times, but the beauty of Adventure Time is it is as hopeful as it is colorful. And it asks us to be as well. It always finds a way to remind you that inside every horrible moment, every bad situation, every time we see the worst in the people we love, or humanity in general, every time we find ourselves boxed into a bad situation, there's always an ocarina hidden somewhere inside.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it's not hollow. I made the holes with the back end of a pencil.
Well guys, that is it for today's episode of Nerdstalgic. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button down below. If you haven't yet done so, also hit subscribe. That way you don't miss anything I put out. Also, next to the subscribe button, a little bell. Just make sure you're notified every time I upload, so hit the little bell as well. Really quickly, I want to thank all of these patrons. The Patreon is live. The support there has been incredible. If you don't know, what you're getting over on the Nerdstalgic Patreon is a lot of stuff. A podcast, weekly commentary tracks for all sorts of different kinds of movies. You're getting exclusive Nerdstalgic videos that couldn't make the cut on YouTube. You're getting Nostalgic Reviews, which is just me reviewing whatever random show or movie I've watched in video form. You're getting those about once a week as well. It's a lot of content over on Patreon, and all of you patrons are helping me make sure that I can make the videos here I want to make the way I want to make them, and also maybe a little film project I'm working on too. So you want to go over to the Patreon and support me and Nerdstalgic there, you can do so. Down in the description below, I'll put a link to the Patreon. And now, as always, here are 2 more episodes of Nerdstalgic. You can click on either of those to stay right here and continue watching anything I've done recently. And hopefully, I will see you in the next video.